Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In our previous class, we have been discussed about the post-fertilization event. In that, zygote and embryogenesis we have been discussed. Now today's class, let us discuss about the difference between gametogenesis and embryogenesis. Gametogenesis is the event it will be held in the pre-fertilization event, whereas embryogenesis it is the event held in the post-fertilization event. So gametogenesis where it will be held in the pre-fertilization event. In pre-fertilization event, gametogenesis is the first process it will be held. After the gametogenesis, gamete transfer it will be taken place. So in post-fertilization event, zygote is the first event, whereas the embryogenesis is the second event. Now let us discuss about this gametogenesis and embryogenesis. Already we have been discussed that gametogenesis is nothing but it is the process of formation of the gamete. So during this process, what happened? Gamete formation it will be take place in the organism body, both in male and female body. So in male body, sperm production will be taken place, whereas in case of female body, egg production will be taken place. So that process only we are calling it as a gametogenesis. So first difference is the nothing but it is a process of formation of a gametes, to whom we are calling it as a gametes means sperm and egg. Sperm and egg we are calling it as a gamete. So production of sperm and egg we are calling it as a gametogenesis. Whereas if we come to the embryogenesis, in embryogenesis it is the development of a embryo from zygote. After the fertilization, when male and female it will get fused here. Male gamete is nothing but sperm and female gamete is egg. Both they will fuse together and convert into the zygote. So after this zygote it will start for division. This zygote what happen? It will start for division, and then a large number of cells it will get form, and finally it will convert into what step M is? It will convert into the embryo. So that process is we are calling it as a embryogenesis. Embryo formation of embryo is called as embryogenesis. Embryo formation, how it will take place? Embryo formation it will take place with the help of the zygote. So it is the development of a embryo from zygote. It is a process of development of a embryo. Embryo from where it will get developed? Embryo it will get developed from the zygote. So zygote formation, how it will be take place? Due to the fission of sperm and egg fused together, due to the mitosis cell division, embryo cell formation will be take place. This is the first difference between the gametogenesis and embryogenesis. Next one, so it includes both meiosis and mitosis. Gametogenesis want to take place means in few organism through the meiosis cell division, sperm and egg formation will be taken place, whereas in few organism through the mitosis it will be held. So that's why it includes both the meiosis and mitosis. So in gametogenesis, both cell division it will be held. Meiosis also it will take place, mitosis also it will be held. Whereas in case of embryogenesis, zygote undergoes mitosis cell division and differentiation. Whereas in this embryogenesis case, where the formation of embryo, how it will be take place means this is the zygote. Zygote it will undergo which cell division? Zygote it will undergoes the mitosis cell division only. It will not go for the meiosis cell division. So here meiosis cell division it will not take place. Which cell division? Only the mitosis cell division it will be held. And after that what happen means differentiation process it will be take place. Just now as I said in my previous class here, large number due to this as the zygote formation will be taken place. Zygote it will start to undergo the mitosis cell division and produces a large number of cells. But first all the cells will be exactly similar to each other, but these cells they will undergo the differentiation process. Due to the differentiation process, the cells, some cells they will get from the heart cells, some cells they will form the kidney cells, some cells they will form the skin cells. So like that different type of cells formation will be taken place. Like already you have been studied in your first year, varieties of cells are present inside our body: epithelial cells, cuboidal cells, columnar cells, like the different type of cells. So all these cells they'll get their own structure, function, and even they'll get the origin, and finally they'll take the shape they'll take the shape of an embryo. So that's why zygote undergoes only the mitosis cell division and differentiation process. Next differentiation what here means, zygote are haploid in condition. Egg and sperm in which condition they will be present? Haploid in condition they are present. Haploid means how we are indicating in the form of a N condition. Gametes are haploid in condition, whereas embryos are usually in which condition they will be present? Embryos it will be in diploid condition. Diploid means 2N condition. So embryos in which condition it will be present? Embryos it it will be diploid in condition. Why? Because means here mitosis cell division it is taking place. Now this zygote it is in which condition? Zygote it is in diploid in condition. So due to mitosis cell division, whichever the cells it will get formed here, all the cells it will be in a diploid in condition. So that's why embryo will also be in a diploid in condition only. So that's why embryo also usually diploid in condition, whereas the gametes it will be in a haploid in condition. So these are the difference between the gametogenesis and embryogenesis. If they ask, write the difference between the gametogenesis and embryogenesis, means this difference you have to write. Next we will go to the other type of differentiation process, which is another type of differentiation process. Means one is the oviparous, another one is the viviparous. Let us discuss about the difference between oviparous and viviparous. Oviparous means these are the animals which will lay the egg. First difference what here means, oviparous means these are the animals which will lay the egg. So as I said you here, you may get the confusion oviparous and viviparous. So that's why starting O it will comes in the form of a egg shape. So that's why, so these are the animals which will lay the egg. So in this manner you can remember this oviparous, whereas the remaining O will comes here viviparous. So these are the animals where they will give birth to the young ones. Even we are also viviparous animals, because we are not laying the egg, we are giving birth to the young one. So this is the first difference between the oviparous and the viviparous. So first difference what? They lay the eggs, whereas these are the animals which will give birth to the young ones. Next difference what is, the eggs are covered by hard calcareous shell. So eggs are covered by what is, hard calcareous shell. Already you have been seen the hen egg. Many of them we will consume in our day-to-day life. Hen egg it is covered by a shell, white color shell it will be present. So that shell we are calling it as a calcareous shell. Why we are calling it as a calcareous shell means, because that shell it is made up of, it contains the calcium. It is made up of calcium. So that's why we are calling it as a calcareous shell we are calling. So eggs are covered by what here means, eggs are covered by the calcareous shells. You have seen the many different type of animals which where the eggs are covered by this shell. Example is the hen, or else even the crow, pigeon. So many of the animals they are laying the eggs, they are covered with the what is calcareous shell only. Even the crocodile also it lays the egg, that egg shell is also covered with the calcareous shell only. Whereas if you come to the viviparous animals, these animals will what here means lay the eggs, but that eggs what we are calling is, even we are calling it as a ovum we are calling. So ovum are not covered by the calcareous shell here. So here the eggs are not covered by the shell here. So completely it will be in a naked in condition. So in viviparous animals, the egg will be released inside the body. So and that shell, that egg it is, or we are calling it as a ovum, which is not covered by the calcareous shell. But here it is covered by the calcareous, hard calcareous shell. Why it is hard? Is due to the presence of calcium. Due to the presence of this calcium, it is making that shell in a hardened condition. So here the such type of covering we will not find in the ovum. Ovum is nothing but egg only. Ovum is nothing but egg. So here the egg is not covered by calcareous shell. This is the another one difference here. So they lay the egg, they will give birth to the young ones. Here eggs are covered by the calcareous shell. Here eggs are not covered by the calcareous shell. So eggs are nothing but we are calling it as a ovum. Next, third difference what is, after a period of incubation, the young ones hatch out. So next what they is, after the period of incubation, the young ones hatch out. So incubation means it is a period where the eggs, where egg it will be converted into the young one. Where the egg it will be converted into the young one, the period we are calling it as the incubation period we are calling. So that during that incubation period, so egg what happens is directly it will hatches out. It will breaks that calcareous shell and new young ones it will be comes out from that egg. Already you have seen especially in the what here in the hen. So hen it will lays the egg, and from that egg a small chick it will be comes out by breaking the shell. So that's why after the period of incubation period, the development period we are calling it as a incubation period, where the egg it will be develops into the young ones. That period we are calling it as a incubation period. So during that incubation period, so what happens is egg it will there eliminate hatches the young ones. So it will breaks that calcareous shell and young ones it will be comes out. Whereas in this case what happen here means the egg which is present, that egg it will be combines with the sperm, it will forms a zygote. Later that zygote it will develops into a young one. Just now as I said you here, sperm and egg fused together it will forms a zygote, and that zygote it will be develops into a young ones through the embryogenesis process. So through the embryogenesis what happen means complete body formation will take place. Finally young ones it will be developed inside the body of the female. Young ones where it will be developed, young ones it will be developed in the body of the female. Body of the female means where means in the womb of the female. in the womb of the female. Uterus we are calling it as a womb we are calling. So normally we are also doing same process. So young ones where it will be developed inside the body of the female, inside the body of the mother it will be developed. Where the body part means in the womb. But here it will not develop in the womb of the mother, or else it will not develop inside the body of the mother. So egg, these animals they lays the egg, and inside that egg young ones it will get developed, and finally they'll break that calcareous shell and young ones it will be comes out. This is the another one difference between the oviparous and viviparous animals. Next difference what here is, there is a chance of survival of young ones are less due to the predation and unfavorable condition. Next difference what they are telling here is, there is a less chances of survival so of what here is young ones. So in this oviparous animals, these animals they will lay the egg. So due to that one there is a chances of predation. So some animals they may eat, some animals they may eat this egg. So due to that one what happen, there is a less chances of survival here, because here totally the mother she is unable to give the protection to the young ones. So that's why there may be chances of these eggs it may be eaten by some other animals. So that's why the animals who will consume these eggs we are calling it as a predators. So there is a chance of consumption of these eggs by the some other animals. So that's why less chances we will get here. And even unfavorable condition, because here the eggs will be present outside the body of the female. Their environment it will be go on changing due to high excess of heat or due to excess of cold. What happen means it may damage to that egg, and the egg it may get spoiled, and the young ones it may not get hatch. So that's why there is a less chances of survival. Completely we can't tell that young ones it will get survive. Young ones will be born from this egg. So less chances due to the what you miss, predation and unfavorable environmental condition. Predation is nothing but these eggs it may be eaten by the some other animals. The animals which will consume this egg, such animals we are calling it as a predator, and that process we are calling it as a predation we are calling. That predation, suppose here, say if the egg it is present, that egg it is consumed by the snake here, means then snake is a predator. Snake is a predator, and that process we are calling it as a predation we are calling. There may be chance of eaten by some other animals, it may be eaten. So due to the unfavorable condition. But here in this case viviparous animals, there is the chance of survival of young ones more. There is chance of survival of young ones is more. Why? Because due to the protection given by the mother. So the chance of survival of the young one is more because of proper embryonic care and protection by the mother. Because embryo development where it is taking place? Embryo development it is taking place inside the body of the female. So mother she will give complete protection to the young one. There is no chance of predation or there is no chance of unfavorable condition. So that's why here 100% result will get here. So maximum what happens is there is a more chances of survival of young ones because the protection is given by the mother. Because what I mean, protection is given by the mother, but here so protection is it is not given by the mother. Mother she maybe take care, but that much care she can't give to the eggs because unfavorable condition and due to the predation. But here completely the mother she will give the caring for her young ones. So this is the difference between oviparous animals and viviparous animals. Next we will move to the next topic. Next topic is importance of reproduction. What is the importance we are getting from the reproduction? Importance means benefits. What are the benefits we are getting from the reproduction? Let us discuss. First importance or benefits we are getting from the reproduction is reproduction is essential life process to continue the races. So reproduction it is one of the most important process which is needed to continue the races. Races means what here? Races means progeny. Progeny means what? Khandan, Vamsha. In Kannada we will tell Vamsha. In Urdu we will tell Khandan. So races is nothing but progeny. So reproduction it is one of the most important process which is needed to continue their races. If they want to continue their progeny means reproduction it is needed. If there is no reproduction means the races it will get stopped. There will be no progeny. So progeny will not be continued. It will get stopped. So that's the first benefit we are getting from this is there will be the continue of the races. So first benefit. Next benefit what we are getting means young ones replace the old and dying one by the process of reproduction. So newly born young one, so it will get replace the old and dying one. Suppose here in the nature rule it is there. So where those are born here, compulsory they will be having the death. They will become say old and finally they will come to the death condition, and that organisms are replaced by whom means it will get replaced by the young ones. So due to that one, so races will also be continue. So it will not get stopped. So that's why young ones are replaced. Young ones replaced to whom means young ones will replace to old and dying ones. Those are become the aged person and those are getting dying here. So such persons, such organisms are replaced by whom means it will get replaced by the young ones through which process means through the reproduction process. So this is the another benefit we are getting. Next benefit what means it helps to increase the population of the species. So whichever the species it may be present here, whether it may be human species, dog, cat, snake, birds, parrot, crow, pigeon, mango tree, neem tree, banyan tree, tulsi tree, whichever it may be present in this nature here, whether it may be a microorganisms, whoever it may be species may be present here, there it will have reproduction, it will helps to increase their population. Their population here it will be increased by which process means it will be increased by this reproduction here. If there is no reproduction means population will not be increased here. Population it will comes to the decreased condition. So that's why here the benefit we are getting from this reproduction, it will helps to increase the population of the species. Next benefit what we are getting means it also act as a vehicle of organic evolution by transmitting the advantageous variation to offspring. Next benefit what we are getting means it helps to, it is acting like a what means it is acting like a vehicle. So what it is doing here, next benefit, it is acting like a vehicle. It will helps to transmit the characters from one generation to the another generation. Which type of characters? Advantageous characters. So which characters, good characters are present in the parents, that characters it will get transmitted to the offspring. So who is acting? Reproduction, it is acting like a vehicle. So through this reproduction, the good characters which is present in the parents, it will get transmitted to the offsprings, or else even the variations may be appear. So advantageous variations to whom we are calling means a new characters may be produced in the offspring. That new character it may be not present in the parent. Just now as I said, you have an example I'll give here. Suppose the parent's eyeball it is in a black in color. Both father and mother eyeball it is in a which color? Black color. But if they get the young ones and their eyeball if it is blue in color means that is we are calling it as a variation. That new character may be appear. How it may be appear means through the reproduction process. So that's why it is acting like a vehicle. It helps to the organic evolution. Evolution it is a process. As I said in my previous class, evolution it is a process which will be held in our nature. It is a continuous process and but it is a very slow process. It is a process which will take place in our nature. Now also it is taking place, but it is a very slow process. We are unable to see fastly here. But due to this evolution, what happened? New character will be appears in the offspring. That new character only we are calling it as a variation. So through the reproduction it is acting like a vehicle which helps for the organic evolution. Due to that one, a new advantageous variation may be appear in the offspring. It may get transmitted from parents to the offspring. So these are all the benefits we are getting from the reproduction. Write the importance of reproduction or benefits from the reproduction means that time you have to write these things. It helps to continue the progeny. It may helps to replace the young, old and the dying ones here. It helps to increase the population and it may brings the evolution in the offspring by bringing the advantageous variation to the offspring. So these are the difference of the reproduction. So here we completed this chapter, first lesson, reproduction in organism. Regarding this, if you have any doubt means you can contact me and you can clear your doubts, and read the NCERT textbook. If you want to clear your board exam and NEET exam means NCERT textbook, it is most important. Compulsory read whatever I have done here, understand the topic, read your textbook so that you are able to understand the lesson. So next we will go to the next chapter, that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. This chapter we will discuss in our next class.